Hello lovely crafters, welcome back. It's Dawn here. I hope you enjoyed my first video from this kit, which was on Tuesday. So thank you very much for those who watched. If you've watched it but you're not subscribed but you've enjoyed it, please do hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell. And if you click the notification bell again and then click all, you'll see every video that comes up on this channel on the day that it comes up. So I'm going to do another project from this fabulous Chloe's Creative Cards volume 17, and this time, as promised, I'm going to use the embossing folder as well as other bits and pieces. We're going to use another piece of the pattern papers. I'm going to use, if I can find it, there they go. It's all right, I've got everything all tucked to one side over there, and I've got my notes with my measurements on it. So everything here looks nice and ordered, but if you could see to the left and the right of me, you'd see what chaos I work in. So if you're another crafty YouTuber, you'll know what I mean. So anyway, we're going to do another card from this fabulous box. This time we're going to do a 6x6 card. And as I say, we're going to use the embossing folder. I'm going to use one of the dies actually, and a piece of paper. But stick around till the end because there's a bonus project for you. So it's an idea I had. There was an offcut that I had. And I thought, do you know what? We could make something with that. So stick around till the end and you'll get a bonus project. So I'm just going to move this box and I'm going to put it on the table behind me. There we go. Which you can't see, which is just as well. And so this is a 6x6. I'm going to have it as a side folding, which is absolutely fine. You can have it as a top folding if you want to, but as I've already glued my card down on my paper, this is from the paper pack from the kit, and all I did was I cut it out and I glued it to my card. Now as you can see, that's not the right size and you've got this rather odd border, but that's where our embossing folder comes in. So let me just slide that to one side. I'll still keep it on in shot, but I'm just going to pop it, or sort of in shot, but I'm going to pop it to one side for just a moment. So that is our embossing folder, and that little bit on the back that you can see is just the sticky part that was stuck to the card as they come in the boxes. So this is our 6x6 embossing folder, and what we're going to do with this, I'll show you the best way of doing it, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all put together. I've used this embossing folder to make a double frame, and I'll show you what I mean by that as we go along. So let's bring our card back in. So you will need, and I've got my measurements down here, the first thing you'll need before you start doing any embossing, you will need a square die, or you don't have to use, if you haven't got dies, you can do this freehand, that's absolutely fine. You'll just need to measure it and cut it, perhaps with a craft knife. But if you're using dies, you will need to cut one at 6x6, one at 4.5 by 4.5 inches. And I will put, as usual, I will put all my measurements in the description box down below. Just click on the word more and it will drop down and you'll see everything that you need. And so what I've done this onto silver mirror card. I think you said gold then, silver mirror card. Now, I'll give you a tip. Don't emboss it first. If you're going to die cut it, don't emboss first, because if you do that, when you put it through the die cut or the die machine, it will flatten it. So my recommendation would be that you create your frame, use your 6x6 frame, and then pop your 4.5 by 4.5 frame inside the die. Put it inside to make a frame. Cut it out, run it through your machine, and then emboss the frame. Don't emboss the whole lot first, emboss the frame. And then you'll have this gorgeous frame. And what we're going to do, just so that I've got some foam tape on the back. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put, as I always do, or nearly always do, and this is why I do it, because it's so sticky, I'm going to put some glue, you can use liquid glue if you want to, I'm using a glue stick. And what this does, it neither takes away or adds to the stickiness. But what it does do, it adds a bit of a greasy film, for want of a better word. And it'll give you a bit of time, so it doesn't grab instantly. You've got a little bit of time, not much, but just a little bit of time to get it into place. Oh, there's a bit that's sticking up there, so we'll just tuck that in. Can't have things sticking out. So what we'll do now, Get off. That's the only other problem with using glue. It sticks to your fingers. But that's all right. So I always line mine up from the bottom, but you do yours however you feel comfortable. So if I add that down now, because it's got the glue, I can lift it again if I'm not quite happy with it. So that's the purpose of putting glue. So I think we're about right, like that. There's just a little bit there that didn't quite go in the right place. So again, see, we can pop it up like that. So that's absolutely brilliant. So we'll just try and get the corners lined up as best we can. And glue it down. If there's a bit of an overhang, we won't worry too much about that, because as long as that stands up, and it does, that little overhang, if you're really worried about it, I'm not actually, because it stands up, so I don't care. I'm not bothered. But if you're really worried about it, as long as you're sure that the card stands up, just take a pair of scissors and chop it off and no one will know. So we don't need to be worried about things like that. So that's the first layer of our frame. Now again, you'll need your 6x6, but this time you'll need a 5x5 die. And this cuts a much thinner frame. And again, cut your frame first and then run the frame through your embossing, through your embossing folder. Pop it through there. But this time I'm going to risk not putting any glue on it. I'm just going to lay it down and hope for the best. So, which is probably a bit of a risk, but let's go for it. So I'm just going to lay that down there. And because it's on silver card, it's quite smooth anyway, so it will lift, which is brilliant. So that wasn't quite right. If I was standing up, in fact, I might try doing that. So what I am going to do, if I can stand up without knocking the camera off its perch. Oh, I think I can. Excellent. You'll probably see my hair getting in the way. I'm sorry about that, but it won't be for long. There we go. Right, excellent. So we'll just bring that down, manoeuvre it into place, and you have a double frame which is now in place. That'll still stand up really nicely, and so there is your double, well, you could call it a double embossed frame, I suppose. But so we have a nice frame around our card, but we're not finished yet, because again in the pack, let's just slide that to one side, we had this adorable little gingerbread man, which I think is absolutely cute. So I've cut 3 out of those. What I did with mine, just to give it variation, you can cut yours from brown card if you wish. I cut mine from white card, and I use my alcohol pens to colour it, and I use a little black fine liner pen to do the face, because obviously there are no facial features. So let's bring them in. They're ever so tiny, so they're quite easy to lose, but so far I haven't managed to lose them, which is good. So I think we're safe now. Oh, let's turn him over. Here's the wrong way round. There he goes. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to put these on with a glue stick. And because glue stick will dry clear, you don't have to worry about it. So because these little gingerbread men, cute they are so small, I'm actually going to put the glue onto the paper. So I'm going to put one there, one up by the house, and one coming off of the path. And then I'll show you how we deal with the buttons, because obviously they're just going to be clear white. So we're going to pop one there. I'm going to pop another one up there, and another one down there. So I'm just going to press them into the glue. And so you've got 3 little gingerbread men playing in the snow. Now, I've got a fine liner pen here, and all I'm going to do is go in the middle like that and colour in for the buttons, which you won't see. You can, if you want to, you can use the bits that fall out and colour them and paper piece them. But you know what? I can't be bothered to do that today. Sometimes I would, but today I just thought it would be easier to do it like this. So we are, now that's the only problem when you do it where you've got glue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, if I can find it quickly, I can never find anything quickly when I'm looking for it. That's what I'm after. I'm after a Sharpie pen. Whoops. Yeah, like that. First of all, you can't find it, then it jumps out at you. Then all you need to do is hold it upright and just go boom, boom, boom. So that's easy, isn't it? So we'll just, like that. Just almost stamp it in. There we go. That's problem solved. So that's our card. That's that card finished. I was going to put a sentiment on it and perhaps put one up there or something like that, but I've decided not to put a sentiment on this one. So you can leave it again as we've said before. You can use it as a Christmas card. You can use it as a Winter Wishes birthday card, or Winter Wishes winter birthday, anything you like. So I'm not going for this time. I'm not going to put a sentiment on this one. But what I am going to do, I'm going to leave it up there so that it's still in frame. But what I am going to do is bring in the piece of card. Let's put it slightly more right into the corner of the screen. This is the bit that I cut off. This was a long piece, just like we did on the previous card. Oh, that shouldn't have been there. So that's another thing we're going to do. That was the sentiment, which says, it just says Blessed Christmas, which I rather like. And I was going to put that up there, but it takes up too much as the scene, so I've decided not to do that. So I'll put that over there for now. But this is what I cut off. This was an offcut from this. So this was an extension to that one. So what I've done is I've cut it off because these are double-sided. It had a script on the back that said Merry Christmas. So all I've done is I've backed it onto a piece of white card. And what we're going to do, we need to find the centre. Now, there are two ways of doing it. There's an awkward way and there's an easy way. Well, for me, it's awkward. The awkward way is to measure it and then put a mark. But I don't do it that way. I'll show you how I do it. All I do is I fold it so that the corners meet exactly, and then just pinch it like that. So all we're going to do is going to pinch it like that. And that there, you've got that little line, and that line is your centre. So that's what we need for that. And somewhere around here I've got a pencil. There we go. You don't have to use a pencil for this. If you want to be brave, you can do it without a pencil, but I'm not feeling very brave. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take, again, I'm going to eyeball this. I'm not going to measure it because this is just a guideline. So I'm going to take one there. So that's roughly the same there. And draw a line either side. I'm going to take my, oops, sorry, that wasn't supposed to happen. Sorry about that. I'm going to take my scissors and try not to move the camera again. And we're going to cut down that side and cut along that line that we've just created. And then what I'm going to do, I've got one of these hole punches. If you haven't got one of those, you can use a crocodile, you can use an ordinary hole punch and just shove it in one hole if you want to. But I'm going to use this as I've got it. I'm going to line it up over that crease, take it about between ½ an inch and an inch down. Again, I'm not going to measure it. Give it a squeeze, and there we have a hole. And you've probably guessed what I'm going to do next. So I've just grabbed a piece of twine, and what we're going to do, we're going to pop the twine through there, bring that across and loop it. And there you go, guys. You have a matching gift tag. So on the back, you can put what you like. And what I am going to do, just to finish this off, as I say, I was going to put that on there, but as I've got it, I am going to put it across the bottom there. So I'm just going to put some glue across there, put it right across so that we can be sure that it sticks. My goodness, is that the time already? Where did that go to? So it says, Blessed Christmas Wishes. So I'm just going to stick that on there like that, because I think that'll look better there than it will on the card. And we have a greeting card, and we have a matching gift card. Now, it's suddenly gone very dark, and it seems to have gone dark in the screen, so I hope you can still see what we're doing here. So there we go, we have a 6x6 card made from the pack, and I used the embossing folder to make a double frame. And from the leftover paper and one of the sentiments, we made a matching gift card. So there we go, 2 for the price of 1. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you have a go yourself, with whether it's from this pack or whether it's from anything you've got in your stash. Now, if you're like me, you've probably got one or more drawer or cupboard full of Christmas stash that you've not used. What I do, I go into, especially if the works at the moment have got some terrific Christmas stuff. And so if I go into my local works, I'll buy what I like and I think, oh, that's nice, we'll use that. And then I don't use it. I've still got stuff in my drawer that I haven't used from last Christmas or even the Christmas before. So if you haven't got this kit, or you can't get hold of it, it's still available at the time of recording. So raid your stash, see what you've got if you haven't got this kit, and come up with your own. I'm sure you've got beautiful embossing folders that you can make this type of frame with. And it'll work with any type that you've got. It doesn't have to be this particular one. So go ahead, either use this kit or raid your stash and make your own double embossed or double framed card and create a beautiful scene or image in the middle. And any leftover, make yourself a matching gift card. Gift tag, that's the word. Brain went mad. Brain freeze. Or a senior moment, as my mother would say. So there we go, guys. There's our project or projects for today. Have a fabulous weekend, and I will be back next Tuesday with another one for you. So I'll see you then. And in the meantime, take care, have fun, and as always, happy crafting. Bye-bye for now.